What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got all the alternate arts from OP-12. Yesterday I showed you all the super fancy stuff. Today we got a bunch of alternate arts, and I'm just telling you right off the bat here, I have multiple chase cards in OP-12. I'm generally a buy one box of the set and then pick up singles for what I want kind of guy. Because you buy a box of One Piece, right, and you get 7 of the 10 super rares, you get a couple of hits, you get all of the rares and all of that. I just want one copy of everything for my binder and then whatever I want to deck build with. So I generally buy one box to open on the channel, and then I buy the missing super rares, any hits I particularly want, and any cards I need to build decks. But I've already told you guys I am super hyped about Koala, and that is going to be the deck I want to play for a while at this point. I've got multiple chase cards coming in here. I don't think a box of this set is going to do it. I think I'm going to have to go pretty hard on OP-12. So we might as well start off talking about Koala decks with, in fact, Koala. Yeah, that's right. We've got a new Koala. Now, some of the cards in this video, we've previously seen the regular version where we have, I'll show you. Some of them we haven't. This is one of the ones we haven't. But it's a one cost, 2k, counter plus 1,000. And it is your generic Revolutionary Army searcher, but it can also search for Nico Robin. So on play, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, only 3, and you find yourself a Revolutionary Army other than Koala, or a Nico Robin, and then you trash the other 2, which is actually really important, because remember the Monkey the Dragon we're going to look at in a moment, that lets you play a card from your discard pile or from your trash for free? Yeah, that's why you only look at the top 3, incidentally, because otherwise it just gets too good at discarding and then it becomes a little bit of an issue. While we're sticking with this theme, we've also got the alternate art of the Nico Robin here. And what we got from the Nico Robin is an incredible card, which I think is an incredible card, incidentally. Whereas if your leader is Koala or Luffy, you get blocker and +3 cost. And on play, you can trash a card from your hand. And if your opponent has 5 or more cards in hand, they have to trash 2. Love this card. Huge fan. I've made no secret of the fact that I love the Basai artwork. Add it all together. Oh my word, I love this. And then we got the Monkey the Dragon finishing off with black here. And this is the one whereby on play you can put 3 Revolutionary Army cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. And then if your leader is Revolutionary Army, you can play a 6 cost or lower from your trash. So this is what I was saying earlier about wanting to play in the discard pile and how the Koala Searcher playing for the discard pile actually helps massively. Love this. I really want the Koala and I really want the Nico Robin. This is not ideal for me. There are literally too many cards from this set I want. Like, for instance, the Kazan. Most sets, we get an alternate art that is done by Akira Igawa, my favorite artist, working in the One Piece TCG. And we absolutely get one here. It is the Kazan. And what we got from Kazan here is a 6 cost, 8,000 power. If you have 5 or more cards in hand, you get cost +1. Just going to help you out a little bit. And then on play, you can trash a card from your hand. And then until the end of your opponent's, or until your opponent's next end phase, one of their characters can't attack. Oh, yeah, that seems pretty good. I like this card, and I love the artwork. The artwork makes me happy. And then also in blue, we got ourselves a Monkey the Garp. This is an 8 cost, 8,000 power. It's frankly absolutely huge. But on play, you can trash a card from your hand and then play an 8,000 power or lower Navy character from your hand. It's, again, this just seems really good. I should say that 8,000 power or less Navy character cannot be Garp. Otherwise, you could chain Garp and that would be a bit silly. So no, okay, that doesn't work. But anyone else, ladies and gentlemen, and as I told you in the video the other day, there are some fairly spicy options. Over in green, I also have some cards that I really want here, like, for instance, Perona, who has been one of my favorite One Piece characters since I read the manga. Again, I've made absolutely no secret of that fact. Also worth pointing out that I'm now in Thriller Buck, and Perona's just as cool as I remember her. It's awesome. But what we have here with Perona, which I believe is a card we hadn't previously seen. Although it is going to sound a bit familiar, because on play, if your leader has the slash attribute, then look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can find a slash character or green event, and add it to your hand and put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And that might sound a little bit familiar, because that is startlingly similar to what we see from the Kozuki Hyori, which I showed you previously. Not exactly the same, but Kozuki Hyori also searches for a slash character or a green event, which is bizarre. Now, Kozuki Hyori, for what it's worth, this is as an activate main rather than specifically as an on-play skill. So it's not exactly the same, but like I say, startlingly close here. Kozuki Hyori is activate main, rest the Don. If your leader is Zoro, rather than if your leader has a slash attribute, look at the top 5 cards, find a slash character or a green event, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, they're very similar. And obviously, I showed you that green event. The Luffy is a man who will be the king of the pirates. That really good Zoro event. Yeah, that activates him, puts him active. Seriously, there is some good stuff going on with this Zoro deck. We then got the Dracul Mihawk, who I did show you previously. And what we got from Dracul Mihawk is a blocker. And on play, you set 4 Don to active. Brilliant. It's essentially a 4-cost 8k. But you then cannot play a character of an original cost of 7 or more for the rest of your turn. Still seems like a fair trade. And then we got a Tashigi here, another one of my favourite characters, and another card that we did not previously have. And this is 5 cost 7k on play, rest one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 6 or less, and then if your leader is Roano or Zoro, give them free rested Don. But remember how Zoro's skill, which lets it activate, needs Don X free? Yeah. So Zoro's just activating all over the place here, getting the Don, using this event card. It is absolutely flat out ridiculous the trick Zoro is getting. I'm starting to wonder whether this Zoro could actually be like genuinely a little bit broken with all of the support we're getting. Now over in red, we've already seen the Monkey D. Luffy alternate art. And for what it's worth, we've also actually seen the Doflamingo as well, so I'm not going to go into great detail about these. We've talked about them before, but we haven't talked about the Boa Hancock. And what we got here is 2 cost, 3,000 power, and on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you find a Monkey D. Luffy or a red event card, pop it into your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then activate main, you may trash this character, and then you can give your leader or one of your characters up to 2 rested Don. Bearing in mind the whole point of the Rayleigh deck in OP-12, the whole point of that leader is that you are essentially taking small characters and then beefing them up. So this absolutely works along those lines of it's a small character, but you can go and beef up some of your other characters. Frankly, it does what it should do, and it works rather nicely. Now, over in purple, we've got the Reiju that we had a look at the other day, and this Reiju looks, again, really good. 4 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and if you've got 4 or more event cards in your trash, this character gains 2,000 power and 5 cost. Basically just becomes a way better character. But the cost, remember, the cost isn't the cost to play from your hand. It's the stated cost when it's on the board, i.e. gaining protection from a bunch of stuff that would look to get rid of it. And then it's got blocker. Just a really good card if you're playing a bunch of events. And then we've got Sanji, who I believe is another one of the new cards we hadn't yet seen. And what we've got here is, for every 5 event cards in your trash, you gain 1,000 power. Remember, the Sanji leader loves playing events for essentially very little. And then that's where the Reiju comes in, even though it's weird. Like, Reiju doesn't necessarily combo a Sanji like that, but Sanji likes events, and Reiju wants events in your trash, so it kind of works. And obviously, they're both from the Vinsmoke family, so canonically, we've got that going on as well. So yeah, you get an extra 1,000 power for every 5 event cards in your trash. And when this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead return a Don card to your Don deck. Remember, it's purple. We got a million ways to get that Don back. I would not be stressing about one random Don card going back to your deck. Now, I showed you the Don Quixote Rocinante, but we've also got a Trafalgore here. And this is a Trafalgore, which I think is, again, just really, really good here. It seems to be one of those cards. Again, they seem to be pushing Rocinante, as a leader, and this just is absolutely helping out just massively. This is the one whereby, on play, if you've got the same number of Don as your opponent or less, you add a Don card to active, and then your Don Quixote Rocinante and all of your Heart Pirate characters get 1,000 power boost until your opponent's next end phase. Yeah, that's really good. Really very good. Again, this just seems brilliant. There seems to be some really strong things coming in OP-12. And we're not going to know until we actually get to play with them. But the Rocinante stuff looks a bit spicy. The Zorro, the amount of stuff we're getting for that looks awesome. And I still contend Koala is going to be brilliant. Hey, is this a nice time to talk about the secret rares? No, not quite. Because we've got ourselves Shanks, which I believe is another new card that we hadn't previously seen. So we should have a look at this. These are the random old arts that don't actually fit into anything else. Should mention we have seen Shanks from OP-12. However, it's the little Shanks, not this one. Fun fact, this is for Emperors and Red-Haired Pirates. It is not a Roger Pirates character. Very important for things like the other Shanks. But what we got here is blocker, and when your opponent attacks once per turn, you can trash a card from your hand, and then your opponent's leader or one of their characters gets minus 2k for the turn. So they attack you, and then you get to nerf one of their other characters. Sounds like fun to me. Also, the artwork here on this is clean. We've then got ourselves a Shiroshi, 2 cost, 0 power. Love the fact that we once again have another Shiroshi with no power. Wimpy Hoshi, I'm not being mean, that's what they call her in the manga. Yeah, this is good. Shiroshi does tend to be good though. This is one we've not seen before. Is it any good? Well, first of all, we got a skill whereby if one of your characters with an original cost of 6 cost or lower would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you can instead turn the top card of your life face up. That seems to help quite a bit. We then have a second skill whereby during your opponent's turn, if you don't have any other Shiroshi in play with an original cost of 2, your Sea-King characters gain an extra 2,000 power. But it's one of those where it's not doubling up. So you cannot have any other 2-cost Shiroshi on the board, original cost of 2. But as long as you don't, all of your Sea-King grab an extra 2,000 power. We saw that Shiroshi back in OP-11 was the worst leader. Like, flat out the worst leader. The only leader from OP-11 where I never saw a winning list at any decent level tournament. Every other leader in OP-11 I saw winning lists for. Shiroshi is literally the only one that I didn't. Could this be what pushes her up a little bit? Not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. Now, moving on to the secret rares, just to finish off here, we've got ourselves, obviously, the Jewelry Bonnie. Yes, the same one that got the manga. And this got an alternate art here, which is pretty cool, honestly. This is the blocker that on play, if you've got 8 or more rested cards, and that does include the 5 Don used to pay for it, then you draw 2, trash 1, and then activate one of your Don. Seems awesome. We've then got the Barfoli Kuma, and yes, I'm going to add this to my list of cards I really want as well. 6 cost 7k, counter plus 1,000, and on play, you may trash a card from your hand and put the top card of your deck on top of your life. And then, until your opponent's next refresh phase, this character gains +2 cost, relevant so that it will activate Koala's draw ability. We've then got, if this is KO during your opponent's turn, put the top card of your life, or top card of your deck, on top of your life. Yeah, you're basically recovering 2 life with Kuma here, which seems absolutely absurd. This is a redonkulous card. And now we got the alternate art, and it just seems a little bit silly. Oh, and it's not terribly important, but while we're here, I should show you the Silver's Rayleigh alternate art Don. I have very little to say about it, but look at it. It's the alt Don for the set. I'll let you decide how much you care. For now, I want to know what you think about all of these, because oh my, I've shown you a bunch in this video, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.